My name is Kaylee Filio, and I am the sales manager here at PartsEdge. I also have resident parts expert Chuck Hartley, one of the founders of PartsEdge, here too. And then we have Denny and Nick with Fred Beans, and we're going to talk about how it is for you guys to run one of the largest parts operations and how it is to do that. So I'm going to have you guys start with talking about your operation.
Okay, thanks, Kelly. My name's Denny Louds, and over here next to me is Mick Padgett. We're managers here with Fred Beans Parts. We've been in this operation here for 20 plus years. When we started out with probably about 80 employees, and we were doing probably about $2.5 million a month in business. Today, we're close to 275 employees. And we're doing about $18 to $20 million a month in business, depending on the given time of year. So we went from a small operation, hoping to grow a little bit, to something big. We believe we are probably one of the largest OEM suppliers of parts across the country. Our main business model is the collision side of the business. It started with probably 65% of our business mix today is selling to the MSOs, the Calibers of the world, doing a lot of collision stuff. But we also have, because of our inventory size, we probably at any given time have $24–25 million of inventory in transit or in process. We sell a lot to the dealer groups. A lot of dealers buy from us, and we also do a lot of mechanical business out there. To the independent installers, and then we do have a large powertrain operation where we're selling engines and transmissions locally and on the East Coast and stuff to other dealers or customers. So like I said, we've grown from a little thing to a bigger thing, and there's plenty to do, and that's where we're at. Yeah, you got anything you want to add?
Yeah, always plenty to do here at Fred Beans. Good afternoon, Nick Padgett, inventory manager. Been with the group 22 plus years, and I've had the fortune of working under Denny here, managing this inventory, growing it from about probably 5 million when we got here, to as Denny said, over 20 million. It's a challenge every day. There's always something happening, so it's an adventure.
Yeah.
Well, that leads to why did you guys hire PartsEdge? And we've been working together for about, how long has it been? 4 years?
It's probably been 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, it's over 3 years.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, over 3. So why did you guys hire PartsEdge?
Are we wrong with this one?
Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay. So in the complex inventory of having multiple manufacturers, we were looking for someone to help us do the daily things, the things in the background that kind of slowed us down from managing the day-to-day, growing the business, and that's one of the features that we have confidence in here, that PartsEdge is managing these things for us in the background.
Yeah, I guess we're probably 125,000 part numbers at any given time that we're managing. It might be more than that.
Yeah, it's probably more. It's a lot of SKUs.
Yeah, so there's a lot of SKUs. I think the biggest thing that we get is every manufacturer does business a little bit differently, and they have a different set of rules. So we have to be very flexible on how we manage that or go to market with it. And obviously, PartsEdge has been able to help us with the sourcing of parts, setting up the different criteria by manufacturer to make things a little bit more flexible. So we don't have to worry about the day-to-day nuances of making sure the parts get sorted right or into the right source or stocking levels and stuff like that.
Okay, so this is my favorite question I love to ask our customers. How would you describe what PartsEdge does for you?
How would I describe?
That's all you, Mick.
Yeah. Almost you want to say it's like cruise control.
Yeah, it just happens.
It just happens, and I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to think about it. If I need a report, if Denny calls me and says, Mick, where's the forced inventory at today? I grab that report. I know it's in there. I can fill him in on that. Yes, it's just cruise control.
Yeah, and once basically it's you got those fancy commercials out there with the cooking stuff. Just set it and forget it. That's basically not that we want to have any copyright infringement or anything here in this dialogue, but really once you got everything set, we don't need to worry about anything. The only thing we need to worry about really where we're driving our dollars at is watching that forced inventory, and then obviously the the monthly or quarterly returns with the manufacturers. So. It's really what it's helped us with.
Awesome.
Wow. Great way to put it.
Yeah. That is a good way to put it.
I mean, just a quick question, because you two would know better than anything, and I just remember when we talked about this about a year ago, talking powertrain. You guys sell somewhere between 500 to 600 units per month, right?
Correct. Yeah. When we started out probably 4 or 5 years ago, we were probably selling 200 to 300 units a month, and right now we're close to averaging about 700 units a month. I think.
Wow.
Even in a downward, disrupted market, as we'll call it right now, with everything going on in the world of events.
And our goal for next year is 800 a month, and by the end of the year, 1,000 a month.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. I remember the last time we talked about it a couple of years ago, you were like at 550, 600.
Yep.
So you've even moved it up that much more. That's great.
Yep. There's a demand for it. So people want to get their cars and stuff back on the road quickly.
Yeah. Awesome.
Awesome. Well, and then I also want to talk about just kind of, obviously everyone's going through the same thing right now, and just how have you guys adjusted your business, and how has COVID affected things for you guys out where you are?
So initially when all this happened back in March, I guess, we actually were obviously, the press doesn't do anything good for anybody, right? But we were basically went into a defensive mode, and we started idling down on some of the product offerings just to cover our cash, because we didn't know how it was all going to play out and stuff. So that helped us tremendously, because we had a good selection, we had a good mix, and I think Mick was able to coordinate with you guys on what we wanted to try to idle down a little bit, and, move forward. So. The business is still, it's crazy. We had 2.5 months, I guess, where our business was off by 55%. So I think May was our worst month, where we lost. We were at 45% of our number from the previous year, so it was scary. So.
And it's picking up now for you guys?
Yeah. The last basically from July forward, August was good, and now, but we're still having a little bit of a concern here right now with the cases spiking back up. We're looking at it a little bit differently now, because we've actually tightened up our receivables and cash collections. So we're not floating as much money on the street, because between ARs and inventory, that's where all our cash is tied up. But we feel good with our inventory. What we are seeing today in the manufacturing world is you can't get the product. Lots of back orders. So our approach going into it again now is we're probably we're beefing up a little bit more. I think we'll probably enlighten a little more on that.
Yeah, the manufacturers are obviously they're recognizing the fact that there may be supply chain issues coming into the collision season, so they've made some adjustments. Not that we're happy about all of them, but it is what it is. We have to have the parts. That's our business.
Back orders are bad. I can tell you, like when we look at like Ford
Motor Company is terrible.
Ford Motor Company, and we love Ford. Don't get us wrong, but they, I think all of them struggle with the suppliers of making the product and stuff. So
yeah,
it's going to be a tough couple months yet.
Do you think in part some of the Ford back orders and shortages are related to their adjustment to RIM?
Chuck, I don't know. So I don't know enough about the RIM program yet.
Yeah, we're not.
We're not even on it. We're not.
Ford's
Okay.
struggling. Obviously, Chuck, they're struggling with us. I'm sure next time talk to you just because of our uniqueness of what we are. They're struggling to figure out even how to RIM manage our inventory.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, it's just kind of ironic. We've got about at this particular point in this date, we got about 6 stores that have gone to RIM on Ford, and their biggest complaint by far, and that's why I asked the question. There's a dealer up in Massachusetts that he had about 800,000 in inventory, and he's now at 900,000 because of what they went out and he had to put $100,000 in his inventory to meet compliance and all. And so obviously some things like that would seem like it would create more of a back order problem than anything.
Right. Yeah, I'm not against when General Motors went on it years ago. I wasn't necessarily. I like the fact of what they do and then what you guys bring to the table to help manage it. I do think they give us I do think we get a better width of parts for availability and stuff, and it has helped us grow. So I think two things. They're launching that, but they're obviously they're smaller buying dealers. Obviously, supply chain is already struggling. So, there's going to be. I think there's going to be wrinkles in the system for the next 6 months or so.
Got it.
Well, I think that's it for today, unless you guys have anything else you want to include.
No, I would just
appreciate the business, the partnership, obviously.
Yeah.
No, we love it. So.
Yeah. Someday we'll get to Montana, right?
Yes, someday.
Hey, the door is always open.
Yeah.
And we really appreciate having you as a client. We really do. So.
All right.